Look at this display. It is popping with color today. It's a Green Thumb Thursday. We got my boyfriend back. Yes, he is here, Justin Rohner. How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm awake and I'm alive. This is a great time to be alive and in the garden.
It is, and we're talking about a Thanksgiving garden because Justin's all about grow things that you can eat, even if it is edible flowers.
That's right, and that's really the first place to start with your Thanksgiving garden. It's a great time to be outside here in Phoenix.
Yeah, the weather's fantastic right now.
Yeah, and when they come over for Thanksgiving, we don't want to be closing the shutters and closing the blinds just to make sure no one goes outside.
You want to welcome people.
That's right.
So we're going to do this, and then the first thing I like is that, look at all these pops of color that you have to choose from when it comes to planting different things that'll add, variation to your garden.
Exactly.
Great.
So with these 4 tips, the first tip obviously is these edible flowers. If you can throw those in, it adds a pop of color. And then when you get to Thanksgiving Day, I mean, you get to pick some of these flowers and throw them right in your salad, and it adds just a lot more, not only in the conversation, but nice health and beauty to your salad.
Well, before we can actually get them to look like this, we got to make sure that the watering is on point, right? And
That's
the water
exactly
system
right.
is, the second thing you really got to think about.
That is tip number 2, is to make sure that, well, when you have the people over for Thanksgiving, you want to make sure that they're not out there in the mud.
Right.
And so one thing to take into consideration is that as it gets colder, we have to actually start shifting to about 1/4 the water quantity that we would normally have in the summertime.
Yeah.
And so just before Thanksgiving too, so you want to water now.
Okay.
Deep water pretty much everything now. Water maybe 2 days before Thanksgiving, and then give yourself a day with no watering, just to make sure you don't have mud out there. And so I like to shut it off at the valve and make sure it doesn't turn on me, because sometimes that timer, it's going to go off and all of a sudden everyone's getting sprayed, so we don't want that.
So each, plant variation is a little different. So is this the same for, this time of year you have to water that way, or do you have to be specific to the plant you're growing?
Well, specific for Thanksgiving, that's what I kind of make sure happens, is that we're going to water now because we're about a week in advance.
Yeah.
And so we're getting that good deep watering, and then that's going to really percolate in. It's not going to evaporate off much.
Okay.
But when it comes to our long-term watering for our fall and winter season, it literally ends up being 1/4 the amount of water that you would normally have during your summertime. And so either you're going to have to back off, go 1/2, so I go half the amount of time, so frequency is in half, and then I do my timeline also in half.
See, this is what you didn't know. There's some math involved in making your
sorry.
garden look like this and have these pops of color. So when your people do come over for Thanksgiving, you can pick these things and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you knew how to do all this. Math.
That's right.
It's math.
There's a little bit of math involved. If you want it automated, if you want to just be out there and watch your plants and water them by hand, hey, keep doing that. It's a fun thing to do. Good thing to do.
Well, let's talk about the bugs, because that's the one thing that a lot of people are like, I'm trying to grow it, but it's not coming full because the bugs are eating them. So how do you keep the bugs away?
So time is one of the best things to really deter things. This is a nice creeping time, so time is actually a great thing. And we always got time for Danielle. So
this is true. I hang on to my time when Justin gives it to me.
That's right. All the things in our alum family as well, like garlics and chives, onions, those kind of things interspersed within the garden also keep bugs off, especially off of our wonderful strawberry plants. So you can see I've got some of my nice pink flowering strawberries. This is a Tristan. It's a wonderful variety to be growing in the garden right now, and also produces some nice strawberries for you in the springtime. So marigolds, that's another great one.
When you have something like this in these small little containers, do they need to stay in here, or eventually you're putting this into your own ground?
You're putting that into the ground. It's one of the best things to be putting in the ground.
Okay.
Now the last tip that I like to have on my Thanksgiving garden is actually a way to invite people to participate in your garden. It's our friendship garden.
Get your hands dirty a little bit.
And then what we love with our friendship gardens is that these are all flowers that really remind me of people in my life. My mother-in-law with the roses, my my grandma Rohner, she was all about irises, and so I've got those in my garden. I've got the daisy-like things that really remind me of my wife.
Nice.
So we integrate those into the garden so we can be thankful for our people year-round. Thankful for the people that we love, that we invite over to Thanksgiving. It's great to just add that gratitude year-round.
And if you have some people that are new that have come into your life that are special to you, you can plant that as well and just incorporate that into the garden. Keep the friendship going. You also have an online class, so tell us about that real quick.
So online class about the 7 elegant ways to grow indoors, so we can show you how to grow this kind of beautiful stuff. This is all grown indoors, and you can do it all through the wintertime no matter where you live. Growing indoors is a great way to go, but make it look pretty.
All right, good information, good tips to make Thanksgiving pop this year. Agriscaping.com is the website, or you can go to our website, AZTV.com, and we'll have a link. More of Arizona Daily Mix when we get back.
That's great.
Thanks.